All right, here we go. I want to say welcome everybody. My name is Mr. Cook. This is Mr. Cook's Corner. I'm just testing out a live stream for the very first time. If you just happen to be out there, welcome aboard. If not, hopefully you'll join us. Maybe you'll see it. What we're going to do today is we're going to take a Canva template and insert it into a Google slide. So let's pull that up. Now you can see here we've just got a blank Google slide. I was in the middle of naming it Google slide example, and the purpose of this is we want students to be able to get on here but not mess with the things that you do. So a lot of times you may create something like, this is my heading. And then you share this slide with students and they come in and they click on it, they move it around, they mess it all up. So what we want to do is we want to freeze the background in order to be able to, stop students from doing that. So we're going to use a program called Canva. And what we're going to do is we are going to create a design and we're going to insert it as a background here. So the first thing we want to do is make sure you have a Canva account, and it's totally free. There is a pro account, and I've got a link to that in the description below. With a pro account, there's a lot of extra tools and snippets that you can use that you would get with a regular account, but that doesn't mean you can't use a regular free account. It's still totally fine. But me as a content creator, there's lots more things that I can do with it, and it really is worth it. It's like $9 a month, and it's totally worth it. It's worth a Netflix subscription. So let's get started. If I do create a design, I want to know the dimensions. And the cool thing about Canva is it gives you these pre-made dimensions. So if I was going to make an Instagram post, I could click on this and it'll make it the exact size that I want to do an Instagram post. If I did a Facebook post, it'd make it the exact size that you want to do a Facebook post. In this case, we're just doing a presentation, and 1920 by 1080 is the standard size for a Google slide, for a PowerPoint slide, when you're using the widescreen. You'll notice here that this is widescreen. You can go into your file and you can do the page setup, and the old school was standard 4:3, and you'll see this is what Google Slides used to look like, what PowerPoints used to look like. This was before big screen and widescreen TVs, but a long time ago, 4 or 5 years at least, they switched the standard size to 16:9, which is widescreen, which is what you see on your big screen TVs, your HD TVs. So we're going to keep it as that. So on here, it's 1920 by 1080, and that's what we're going to do. So all we do is click on the presentation. And now let's think of, what do we want to actually create? So one cool thing about Canva is it gives you tons of, let me move this, let me move myself out of the way. Will it let me? Here we go. It gives you tons of templates to use. So I don't know, technology presentation. It's got all these different slides. Let's just type in school and see what comes up. So they got some pretty ones. Okay, English lesson. Let's click on that. Got all these different pages for you to choose from, and you click on one and insert it. You can do all 16. Let's find just the title. Let's just, oh, welcome students. That looks cute. Let's just do this one, and there we go. Move myself back out of the way. So it's already created for you. It's right there. But in this case, this may be the intro to a slide that you want, a slide deck. If you want to project this on your board for students, it's already set here, it's ready to go. We can export it and put it into our Google Slides. For me, I'd like to make something a little bit more functional. So I was just showing you that as an example. Let's start from scratch and let's make a choice board. And a choice board is just a simple thing that you project on the screen for students. Gives them things that they can choose to do and go in order. It helps with student engagement because it's giving them choice. So I'm not going to use any templates, but know that it's there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a background. So all the tools are over here on the left. It's pretty simple actually. And again, let me move my put it to the side for a while. All these elements over here are things that you can insert. So you've got text with tons. I mean, there are amazing fonts on here that are totally cool. Way better than anything Google has. There are elements. So if I want to insert pictures, if I want to insert clip art, graphic art, whatever you want to call it. There's shapes, frames. Frames are cool because it gives a certain shape and you put a picture inside it and it molds to that shape. Stickers. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can insert here. You can actually look for free photos that are attrition free. So for example, if I like this background here, I could just click on it and I could start with here as my background. As a matter of fact, we may do that here in a second. Or you could just do generic backgrounds. So you've got landscape backgrounds, you've got patterns, gradients. I find with students, the less is more. So the less distracting the background is, the more focused they're going to be. So I usually stick with like a pattern. If you do abstract, they're just going to stare at it all day. Textures are fine too. Let's go back and I'm going to insert the photo that I had. It's one I've used before. So I'm going to pick a photo and you'll notice right here that it says Pro. That means it's only available to Pro members. Now there's ones on here that I don't know how many. This may be all under a Pro account. So you know what? As pretty as that is, I promised you I'd keep this Pro free. So we'll just go to backgrounds and let's pick some textures. Let's find a texture here. I'm going to see all the different textures. What's good? Let's go with I don't know. I kind of like this background here. There we go. Brick background. Why not? Now, we need some elements, right? We're going to make a choice board and let's give them 9 choices. Let's do 9 choices. It's like a tic-tac-toe, usually something like that people would do 3 by 3. So I'm going to go to my elements and I'm going to look for some shapes to insert. And again, you've got all these different things to choose from. And once you insert one from there, you can pick the colors that you want. So I'm just going to go with, let's just do a nice little one right there. And since we're doing 3 by 3, we're going to shrink it. That's about right. And let's set the colors. I like the outline, but the inside, let's make it like chalk. And the cool thing is you can import with these colors. If you know your hex codes, if you know specific colors, you can just type in a color that you like. I also have a cool tool up here. It's a Chrome extension. It's called Eyedropper. If you see a color that you like on a website, you just click on it. You can pick a color, and you can hover. So like, let's say I like this share button color. See how it shows that little square? I'll click on it. Oh, actually it's hovering over there. Let's say I like, there we go. I like that color right there. I'll click it. I'll go in there and it gives me the hex code up here. Actually, my overlay is covering it right now. Let me turn that off. There you go. Now you can see here the hex code is here. I just copy it, paste it in here. Bam, it gives me that color, which is pretty neat if you ask me. So I like the way this is. And so now I'm just going to make some copies. If we're going to make it 3 by 3, I need 9 of them. So I'm going to Control C and Control V. Do it again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's get these out here. We're going to make some nice choices. And the cool thing again, another neat thing is that the arrows and the lines let you get all set up here. Now I can tell that it's too big. If I make them, well, maybe we can fit them. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll have them touch like that. Okay, lining them up. It looks like it may be a little bit big, but that's going to be okay because all we're going to do is we're just going to grab them all just like that. Shrink them down a little bit. Now we've got a nice and pretty choice board. Now we want to let's give it a title. So for me, I do add a heading. And again, you can choose from the available I mean, if you look over here on the side, these fonts, it goes for days. There's fonts for days. But you can also, if you're a fan of using your own fonts, if you're familiar with TTF, if you've used things like that before, or you can bring in your own, you can upload your own fonts. That may be a pro option, but if you don't have pro, again, there's tons to choose from. So let me choose something that is not under pro. And these little crowns show you all the pro ones. So let's find a nice one. Let's do what's nice looking here. Gagalin, why not? So here it is, and again, I just grab it and make it bigger. And then we're just gonna type first week choice board. Why not? Let's keep it simple. Let's make it 2, and I'm gonna drag it over here. Now, clearly that color is not so hot, so I'm just gonna highlight it. And I'm gonna give it a better color. Let's give it a red. Is that nice? How does that red look? Oh yeah. Again, the cool thing about this is, let me move myself here, get out of the way. I can go up here and type the size that I want, or I can just click and drag. Really, I only want it to be as big as it's going to fit in this side. It's a little too big, shrink it down a little bit, nice. And so now we're gonna need just some basic instructions for them to do, like how are we supposed to use this thing, right? So we'll do a subheading, and Laura is my standard typing. I'll make the words a little bit bigger. Let's go with like a 32. So let's go with, you must choose 3 of the 9 activities by the end of the week. You can submit each one through our, let's just say Google Classroom. Google Classroom homepage. Or stream, we'll just say through the Google Stream. And let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's go like 48. Nice. Black, does that show up? I'm looking on the screen. Yeah, that actually looks pretty decent. So now I want to give some numbers, because if you know your 9 choices, you can type them in here, or you can save it for Google. Right now I don't want to come up with 9 things. So let's just get the numbers in there, and I like to go to elements, and I can do something cool like this. I can type in numbers. And look at these. Now some are free. So let's use these free ones here, right? I'm telling you, the Canva Pro gives you so many options. If you're nerdy like me, or if you're a teacher that's very into just OCD stuff, you're gonna want it. But let's go with these. Start with a, yep, they're all here. So 1, and we'll shrink them down. Let's delete it. Let's get them all out there the same size. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all the same. 5, here's 6, 7, 8, and where's my 9? There's my 9. Okay. So I'm gonna just grab these, and we're just gonna spread them out so I can click on them all. And then I'm just gonna hold down the control button. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm gonna hold down the shift button. I'm gonna start clicking all these different numbers, and then I'm gonna shrink them together. That way I don't have to individually shrink them. That. Now I'm shrinking them as a group. I want them nice and small. That looks like a good size right about there. And then when you click away, they're gone. So there's 4. Now we're just gonna lay them out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 2, and 1. You can see how the arrows help steer me in the right direction, so they kind of lock into place automatically. That's why it's really easy to line up. You can see how the 8 and the 5, 2, yeah, these are all nice and lined up. So now your next option here is you can go in, we can click on text, and we can add in choice 1, partner up and practice your vocabulary words on the Pear Deck assignment. And Pear Deck is another great tool. Now this is big. I'm going to shrink this down and move it into space. Still big, so it would be something like that. Here's where we come into some issues. If you make it here, you're stuck with it. So I can make up my 9 choices, I can go in there, and when I export this, they're going to be permanently there. Once they go into Google, once I upload it here, I won't be able to change the words. So that's why I personally choose not doing this part here, because if I need to adjust on the fly, or if I want to use this template again and just leave it as choice 1, 2, 3, and then put my own things and change them on the fly, I want to do my text boxes in here. It does leave up to, so again, the pros and the cons. Students go in and mess with it, and you make the text boxes, they'll be able to move it. But it's a lot better than having every single one of these elements clickable on a Google slide, which is a real big pain in the butt. So for me, I'm going to get rid of it, so I don't want it. But now, boom, we have got a pretty decent looking choice board. It took me, what, 3-4 minutes to make this. Now, if you're going to make these for the year, you can spend a little more time, be a little bit more color coordinated. But for the sake of this quick tutorial, this is pretty easy. I'm going to go to done now. So when you're done, you can get a link to it and embed it in a website. You can turn it into a PowerPoint itself. I mean, please don't use PowerPoint. Please use Google Slides. We want to maintain functionality and connectivity to the web. So we're going to download it. Here's what you need to do. When you choose, you need to make it a PNG or a JPEG. I always choose PNGs. The image is a little bit better. It's a little bit higher quality. And in some cases, when you need it, you can make a transparent background, which is really cool. But for this case, we don't need a transparent background. You can see the size. We're all good. I'm going to hit download. And there we go. We've got a downloaded file. It's in my download section, and there it is. Okay. Now, let's go to the next step. We've got what we need. Go back into my Google slide. I'm going to delete all the stuff that we have on here. Come on, guy. There you go. I don't need themes, so I'm going to click that out, and we've just got a blank plain Jane setup here. So all I'm going to do now is just go to the background. That's the difference. You don't want to do insert image, and let me show you why. So let's say I do insert image, and I do upload from the computer, and I go to the file that I just made, which is my choice board. Here it is. It's pretty, isn't it? Grab it, stretch it, and it fits. It fits exactly how you want it, which is cool. The only thing is, when you do it as a picture, I can click on it, I can grab it, oh, there it goes. It's moving. I can shrink it, I can move it. It defeats the purpose of having it. So when you insert it as a picture, that's not the right way to go about doing it. You don't want to do that. Instead, click on the background button. You click on change background. This time, you choose an image. Let me go back so y'all can see that. If you want to just change the color, you can do that too. But for the purpose of this, we're doing choose an image. We're going to upload it. The same one, first week choice board. Hit open. It's going to think for a minute because computers, and then done. Now, when I try to click on it, can't do anything. See, it's embedded in the background, so they can't do anything with it. I mean, that's the money shot right there. It's stuck, it's good. If kids need to go into it and they pull it up, they won't be able to do anything with it. From there, you would do your insert of a text box, and then you would make your text box saying choice 1, blah, 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 whatever it is that you're doing. This can be moved. I can, do the same thing. I can copy, paste, make as many as I need, and start filling in my choice board, but it can be touched again. So there are some workarounds to that. Again, you have to balance the pros and the cons and what you're using this specifically for. If it's something that you're just going to project and students aren't going to interact with it, then yeah, go in here, make your choice board. You can always come back to this file. It saves it for you forever. So let's say I get lost, right? Let's say this closes out, canva.com, here we are. All you have to do is to go to all your designs. Look, this is all my stuff here. And here's my choice board. And it just brings it right back up. It saves automatically. I would go in here, make it nice and pretty, use some cool fonts, and that way when you stick it in here, it's ready to go. That way, if you're just projecting it to a screen, you don't have to worry about kids clicking on it. But if this is something you're going to post to Google Classroom where a kid's going to pull it up, he's going to go through instructions, he's going to go to the board, he's going to click on things. For example, this is one reason why you might do this. That's how I use it in the classroom, is I would make some new slides, and each slide would be one of the choices. So choice 1, instructions. Do this, right? And then instead of recreating the wheel, I'm just going to duplicate, and then this would be choice 2 instructions. This would be choice 3 instructions. And then what you do is you insert, I like to do it this way, is I like to insert just a shape, and I put it over the box. Just like that. And then what you do with it is you make it transparent. So you do transparent, transparent, transparent. Well, it's not doing that right now. It's not being transparent. Okay, so we'll just do it with the text box instead. Usually it lets you format options. Usually it lets you do it. I'm not sure why it's not doing it today. Highlight color. Oh, duh. Okay, I'm an idiot. I was in the wrong section. I apologize for that. I was in the word section, but instead I needed to be in the fill section. And so again, the border color, transparent. So everything's transparent. So this thing, you can't actually see it. It just sits on top of it. And so that actually protects what you're typing there, which is another cool thing. It protects the words that you've typed. So what we do then is we right click and we are going to link it to a slide in this presentation. So I want to go to slide 2, which is the choice 1 instructions. I hit apply. There it is, it's linked. So now I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna paste it, and I'm gonna put it over choice 2. This time I'm gonna change the link. I want this one to go to the next page, which was choice 2. I'm going to copy it, paste it, put it over choice 3. Change the link to the last slide. So I've only done the first 3, but you could do all 9. And then when you're done, it now links when you click on it. It has to be in presentation mode though, so you can't do this while you're with it. But once you've saved it, you've uploaded it, and you put the link, so you've shared it, right? You've hit share, you've got the link, you've sent it to students. They're going to pull it up, they're going to put it in presentation mode. When you sent, see here, now it's in presentation mode. Notice how it's just an arrow when I'm over 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. But when I go over 1, see how it turned into a link? 2, 3. When I click on them, it takes me directly to where I want to be. Now they can always just hit the arrows and go to where they want, but it's cool to have them just linked. So if I want to go to choice 2, there it is. And so I would go back here. Obviously this was if I want to type on it, I'm gonna have to move the button out of the way and say this is choice 2, move the button out of the way, this is choice 3, and then put the button back over that. Other things I like to do is I like to, like, if I want to have a back button, so let's say I go to choice 3 and I want a back button without having the students do that, I would just insert a shape, like an arrow, and I would just put like a little arrow down here. Y'all can see that. And then I would link that to the front, first slide. Link, first slide, hit apply. So now it's there. So let's say I'm back to the first page. Let's try that again. When I click on choice 3, you see that back button down here. Now when I click on it, I've linked it back to the front. So now we're back to the beginning again with using this choice board. So there's a lot of choice that you have with where you want the words to be and how you want to link it. There's also choices with how you want this presented when you send the link out. So if I were to just share this document, or I'm sorry, if I were to share this Google slide with my class as a document, as an actual slide and not a presentation, they'll get it like this, and they'll have to go into presentation mode to go through it. Your alternative is to set the link up to where when they click on it and open it, it goes directly into presentation mode, and they don't have any other option with that. So what I usually do in that case is I like to do publish to the web. When it's ready, you do publish to the web, get the link. I turn off auto, you know, and you can turn off auto. You could set the settings how you want. I'm going to publish it. Are you sure you want to publish? Yes, I am. And there's the link. So I'm going to copy that link. It's on there. There's the link right there. Whoops, let me get a little screen. There's the big old link right there. I'm going to copy that link. And now let me pull up like a Firefox, like a random different browser. Sorry for the brightness there. So I pull up a new paste. Now, when I paste it and send it, when the kids get it, it's not an actual Google Doc or a Google slide presentation. This is an actual web page, and they can't go in and do anything with it. You'll notice that the links, you can hit forward and back. I'm hitting the left and right button. They can hit forward and back, but the purpose as you teach them is to show them, like, hey, you click on the link that you want, it sends you there. Oops, sorry about that. If I want to go to page 2 or choice 2, click on it, sends you there. Go to choice 3, click on it, sends you there. And then you build in the arrows that when you click on it, it sends you back. And this way, it takes a little bit of investment on the front end. That's why I like the Canva concept even more, because from here, I can make this my template. And then as the year goes by, when we go to the second week, or if we do it by every 6 weeks, or if we do it by subject, I can go to this source file and tweak what I want in here, and then just save it again and give it a new name. If I want to change the background, or if I want to just put some new words in there, I use this and just save it every time. I'll just go to present, download, choose the PNG file, and then off you go. You go into here and you just change the background. Just so you can see some examples of other things I've done with. If I go into my drive, let's look at some of my TPT stuff. If I go into my language arts templates, let's say I made one I like is Story Mountain. I made a Story Mountain template. So this is, right? Let's present it so you can see it in full mode. This is my Story Mountain, and you can tell that, let me try and get this, oops, I'm trying to grab myself here, there we go. You can tell here that this was clearly not made in Microsoft PowerPoint. It was not made with Google, and you couldn't make this. I mean, you could, but it takes a while. And all the little things on here, these are just part of my pro account. I just did a search in a template. They're totally reusable commercially. Go in and use them however you want. I made everything here. You can't touch or move any of this. So let me click off of it. Let me escape here. Again, notice how you can't do anything with it, right? So if we were to assign this to the student would then do insert text box, and they would go in and make their name, make their plate. So everything on here it's background slides. These are all just background slides that I made in Canva. So again, when I present, I've got my buttons down here. Build up, next, climax. I can click here to go back. All these have buttons. So if I want to go to the ending, I click on ending, it takes me to that page. And then I have a button down here, click, go back. If I want to go to the introduction, I click on introduction, boom. I've got all the things linked in here, but they can't draw on them, they can't mess with them, and you can make them pretty. Within Canva itself, this is what it looks like. If I go to all my designs, I'm gonna have to find it, it's way down here somewhere, because I make a lot of stuff. Please excuse my clutter. Another cool thing is you have unlimited backgrounds, unlimited creations. It's gonna be somewhere up here. Show, don't tell. I did it after show, don't tell. Let's see. I may not be able to find this right off the bat. Never mind, I have Story Mountain right there. I'm dumb. They also have folders, and I should probably be using my folders instead of searching like a moron. Okay, but here's the source file. I made it here. This is a Canva, right? And you can see I've got all the pages here. So I just started the same way. I had the size of the presentation. All these little elements are things that I made. I made just inserts and boxes. I put my little logo here. I got all these little dudes. So like, let's say I wanted to add a pretty sun. I would just go to elements and I would type in sun. And wow, I mean, look, I mean, there's a bajillion suns to choose from. Let me grab a sun, put it over here. It's a little pretty day. And you'll notice that most, free. This one says pro. You can go in here and some of them are free and a lot of them are pro. That's, again, the reason why I use that pro account. But yeah, simple, huh? Let me know what you think. I did this late at night. This is my first live stream. I just wanted to try it and make sure I could actually do a live stream. If I see that nobody was here, I don't see anybody in the chat. I don't know if anybody watched this because I don't know how to monitor that. So if you did happen to see this, hey, hope you learned something. Shoot me an email and let me know that you watched it if you did. Gareth at mrcookscorner.com. If not, I'm going to give this a better run at a much earlier time. It is currently midnight, and who knows? I know I have out of my 1,800 followers, 70% are over in India. So hey, all my folks over there, and it's probably daytime, so maybe you did come across this. That being said, I hope you had a good time, and we'll see you next time at Mr. Cook's Corner.